Now back to our continuing coverage regarding the assassination attempt of the former President Donald Trump. Joining us now is the former Special Assistant to Donald Trump, Andrew Giuliani. Andrew, it's good to have you with us this morning. Just first of all, have you got a word in with him at all to see how he's doing?
I did. I spoke with him briefly, and I've been back on with his staff almost by the hour, I would say. I was actually in Bedminster, New Jersey, here up until a few moments ago when I just got back to New York City. Thankfully, he's doing well. He's able to compartmentalize probably unlike anybody I've ever seen. He's already, the first thing he said was, thank goodness it was a millimeter to the left and not to the right. And then he started talking about the victim and the two that are in critical condition. And then he started talking about the RNC and what the RNC is going to look like. So he's already focused on what he can do to try to win this election on November 5th. But as he said, thank goodness it was a millimeter to the left, because this would have been a very different and much sadder conversation.
Just elaborate, Andrew, if you wouldn't mind, on and I'm sure you asked him about it that moment when he was on stage, because as he saw in not just that shot there, but there's also that other stunning photograph of a bullet whistling behind him. I mean, that's another one that might have killed him.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I think, to me, the training of him and the Secret Service that were on the podium and right around the podium, that's exactly what he practiced as president. That's exactly the drills that they went through. As soon as you know that there's danger, you need to drop and give the Secret Service time to cover you. And he dropped pretty darn quickly, and the Secret Service did an amazing job. You know, at this point, when you end up seeing him get up and he's telling the Secret Service, I want to get my shoe. I want to get my shoe. What that tells you is two things. First off, it shows you how hard the Secret Service comes in there to come and protect him. They actually knocked his shoes off. But secondly, and I think this is a really important message, knowing the president for 25 years like I have, he wanted to show the American people, he wanted to show the world that even though he was shot, he could walk off by his own volition. Yeah. And he did that. And when he pumped his fist to the American people, I think he showed them that, I'll take a bullet for you, but we're going to keep on fighting for our constitutional republic.
Andrew, tell me this. Did he talk about these perceived failures? And there was surely a security failure here with this gunman able to get at least a shot or two away. Did Donald Trump speak about that at all?
We didn't talk about it, but I 100% agree with you. And as somebody who's seen the advance for so many different events, as I work with President Trump in the White House, I've talked about this time and time again. Secret Service looks at high points that's far outside their perimeter. They look at high points up to 1.5 miles out. If they think there are a couple of people in the world that can make a sniper shot, then they will shut that down. The fact that he was 125 meters away, you're talking about 30 times closer than the longest shot that has ever been made. So to me, this is a catastrophic failure that cost the life of an American, that have two people that are critical now because of this failure. And like I said, that nearly cost the life of the 45th president and the leading candidate for president as well.
Yeah, that's that photograph there that we were just talking about with Andrew a short time ago. That there, it's believed to be the first bullet whistling past Donald Trump's head. Now, the investigations from the FBI are still continuing this morning, so we're going to learn more about the 20-year-old gunman. But, what can you put this down to? I mean, we're veering into speculation here, but, I mean, is it the state of political discourse? What do you think might have led to this?
Well, we need to definitely cool our political discourse down. But, I am very, very disturbed that the current president just 5 days ago said, we're going to put Donald Trump in the bullseye. That's something that he deserves to be questioned about. That's something that Congress should bring him in and question. Why would you ultimately use that terminology? Is that inciting violence? We've seen over the last months and months and months the comparisons between Donald Trump and Hitler. It's beyond ridiculous. Donald Trump stands for individual freedoms. There's no doubt that he has a very different style than most politicians and somebody that can be combative. But I think when you look at his body of work, he's somebody that's promoted individual freedoms, the First Amendment. talking issues out,
All right.
not somebody who's for political violence like this. Not that Joe Biden is, but he certainly said those words and needs to answer for it.
Just quickly, Andrew, I'm out of time, but I do need to ask. I mean, does Trump have a role to play here, or the Republicans have a role to play at all in terms of turning the temperature down or turning the volume down? Because he has used some inflammatory language in the past.
I think first and foremost, we need answers, right? We need answers for what happened that day, because if we get those proper answers, then we can put the solutions together. You mentioned the catastrophic security failure. We need to know why that security failure happened so it doesn't happen again for any other candidate, not just Donald Trump, but also RFK Jr., whose family sadly has a history of this, as well as Joe Biden as well. This should never, ever happen to any politician, whether it's left, right, in any country.